Yeah, this onesie, it's never going away. On a serious note, though, it looks like the weather's finally moving back into where it's appropriate for me to wear this. Don't take all my complaints about the heat as actual complaints about the heat. I hate the winter. The only thing that I don't like about the heat is its unpredictability. The unpredictability of knowing what to wear or what you're going to be looking at from day to day. I really wish, even if I did have to put up with some worse cold, that I lived in a place where I at least knew what was coming each day. Alright, it's snow today and it'll be snow tomorrow. No. It goes from hot, wet, cold, wet. Well, I guess I wasn't exactly right about that. It'll always be wet down here. Always humid and horrible. But, and I made this way too bitter. Which is saying a lot for me because I usually like bitter chocolate. Anyway, we are going to start watching Volume 4, Chapter 8, Much Needed Talk, which I really like the title of this one because a much needed talk is what needs to happen. Finally, what is Salem's motive? What the hell is up with these villains? I wonder if Tyrion... Hopefully that didn't have to do with his semblance, because he sends a tail. That was awesome, by the way. Good job, Ruby. You've now got more people that want to kill you than ever. I've been wondering a lot if Tyrion's semblance doesn't have to do with aura. Because he paid especially close attention to Jean, and it's like, why is he interested in Jean? But we do know that whatever Jean's ability is, it has something to do with aura. And I'm banking that it has a lot more to do than with his aura as just this shield thing. And every time that he strikes one of these characters, we've seen this kind of ripple effect in their aura. So I'm saying that his abilities have to have a lot to do with sensing and seeing aura. I wonder if Tyrion can see semblances. That would be a really kick-ass semblance. It would also be a very dangerous semblance, because that would mean, like, unlike the other people in a fight, he's going to have an advantage and be one step ahead, because unlike everyone else, he already knows what he's dealing with before he deals with it. I don't think Crow is going to die. It'd be really, really lame if that happened this early in the story. It would be lame if it happened at all, but it would really be lame if it happened at this stage in the story. I don't think after that attack he's going to be much use. I could be proven wrong. So, yeah. Tyrion's really screwed, though, because from everything that I've read and seen and heard, scorpions' tails do not regenerate. Unless Salem has some kind of way of regenerating it for him. Without further ado, there's been some interesting fan art on that too. With Salem and Tyrion having that little talk about how that mission went. Except I don't think he'd be crying. He's so insane that he would probably be happy to die for his goddess. But, we'll talk some more about that maybe at the end of this episode if it's still relevant. Without further ado, and internet is slow as internet is slow. Okay, and while the opening rolls, I'm going to check my phone. Make sure that nobody's going to call me while this is going on. Because that always seems to happen when I'm having a reaction video. Never any time else. And I'm getting really tired of Yang's storyline. Something needs to happen, or they just need to... I mean, Blake's storyline is slow too, but at least it feels like it's building up to something. Honestly, the ones I'm most invested in this season has been Ruby's story and Weiss's. Yay! Start of episode! Did this thing just freeze? It just froze. Let me fix that. There.
Really? No questions?
Of course we have questions. This is just a lot to take in.
Sure, of course.
So these maidens, they're powerful fighters that don't need dust to use magic.
Yeah.
And there are 4 of them?
Yep. Always.
Which means that whenever one of them dies, the power transfers to someone, a female, that they care about?
Whoever was in their thoughts last. Important distinction. Best option, it's someone we can trust. Regardless, their souls become combined, in a way.
And that's what you were trying to do to Pyrrha. The night the tower fell.
Yeah,
You're
Sean's
trying to
not
turn her into one of them.
going to be happy about this. I don't blame him.
The previous Fall Maiden, Amber, had been attacked. She was young, inexperienced. And her assailant, who we now know as Cinder, somehow managed to steal some of her power. But not all of it. We were afraid that if we didn't do something, the rest would go to her as well.
So you forced it on Pyrrha.
We didn't force anything. We explained the situation and gave her a choice, and she chose. You were there. You heard her.
Yeah, but y'all put plenty of pressure on her, too.
That guy, Tyrion, why was he after me?
Well, you definitely painted a target on your back with what you did at Beacon. I told you having silver eyes is a rare trait, and the fact that you're someone that was able to use them seems to have upset some very powerful people. Not many people know about the silver eyes, but those that do aren't very happy that one has surfaced. That's why I've been keeping an eye on you. Wanted to make sure you were safe. All of you.
Well, then, why not just travel with us? It seems like that would have been way easier.
Yeah.
He was using you as bait.
Oh?
Look, I wouldn't put it like that. It's complicated.
What is all of this? Ruby's being hunted. The schools are being attacked. All for what? What is the point of all of this? Will you just tell us what's going on?
Would you sit down? You're stressing me out, kid.
I get told this all the time.
Not many people are super religious these days. This world's been around for a long time. Long enough that people have created dozens of gods. But if you believe Ozpin, 2 of them are actually real.
So Salem is
They
a
were
goddess.
brothers. The older sibling, the god of light, found joy in creating forces of life. Meanwhile, the younger brother, the god of darkness, spent his time creating forces of destruction.
So Zeus and Hades?
As you can imagine, they both had pretty different ideas about how things should go. The older one would spend his days creating water, plants, wildlife. At night, his brother would wake to see all the things that the elder had made and become disgusted. The counteract his brother's creations, the god of darkness brought drought, fire, famine, all that he could do to rid Remnant of life. Life always returned.
So did he make the Grimm?
So one night, younger brother went and made something.
Yep.
Something that shared his innate desire to destroy anything and everything.
Yep, he made the Grimm.
The creatures of Grimm.
You guessed it. The older brother had finally had enough. Knowing that their feud couldn't last like this forever, he proposed that they make one final creation. Together. Something they could both be proud of. Their masterpiece. Younger brother agreed. This last great creation would be given the power to both create and destroy. It would be given the gift of knowledge so that it could learn about itself and the world around it. And most importantly, it would be given the power to choose, to have free will to take everything it had learned and decide which path to follow. The path of light or the path of darkness. And that is how humanity came to be.
Then who made the faunus?
But what does that have to do with us?
Well, that's the kicker. See, the four gifts to mankind, knowledge, creation, destruction, and choice, aren't just metaphorical. Each of them exists in a physical form, left behind by the gods before they abandoned Remnant. And each of them is extraordinarily powerful. If someone were to collect all four, they'd be able to change the world.
The relics.
Exactly what the enemy wants. The Huntsman Academies were created to train generations of humanity's protectors, but they also serve another purpose, guarding the relics. When Ozpin's predecessor founded the schools, he built them around the relics to act as a fortress. Not only would they be easier to defend, but they would be constantly surrounded by trained warriors. The hope was that hiding the relics would keep mankind from using them against itself. And, of course, keeping them out of her reach. So, yeah, there's that.
Her. You mean Salem?
That's right. Not much is known about her. Quite frankly, that's not what matters. What matters right now is that she wants the relics. And if she gets them, it's not going to end well.
No, I'd say it wouldn't be good to let the creepy lady with the pet floating eye get anything like that.
You know, you can always go in and say hi.
I don't want to bother him.
A father's never too busy for his daughter.
Not all of my friends would agree with you on that.
Oh, Blake.
Here.
What? Where are you going?
You've never been very talkative, but that boy you brought home loves to run his mouth. I want to hear more about the adventures of Team RWBY.
That's kind of a sore subject, Mom.
Holly, is that you, dear?
Oh, Blake, you have the best family. Stop being so nervous.
Hey, Dad.
Blake. Well, this is a pleasant surprise. Please, come sit. Don't worry, I've got it. Sit down, sit down.
I don't want to keep you if you're...
Nonsense. I've been cooped up in here all day. You still take sugar, right?
Oh, actually,
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine.
Oh, here, take this one.
No, really, it's no big deal.
They're so cute.
You sure?
Positive.
Old habits, I suppose. Might want to let it cool.
Right.
So, is it warm in Vale?
Huh?
It just seems like your outfit doesn't cover very much.
It covers plenty.
I mean, a little more armor might help, don't you think?
Oh, Kira.
I'm fine. I don't need armor. I can look after myself.
I know you can. I'm sorry.
Why? Why would you say that?
Sweetheart, what's wrong? What did I say?
Maybe she remembers
How can
getting
you still
stabbed.
love me after what I did?
Blake. Your mother and I will always love you.
You were right. I shouted at you and yelled at you, but you were right. I called you cowards.
It's okay.
Oh, Blake.
I should have left the White Fang with you and Mom. I should have listened to you, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Blake, it's fine. We never held anything against you, and I never feared you would fail. The only thing I ever feared was that you would fall down the wrong path. And I am so proud to see you haven't.
But I did. It was...
And you pulled yourself out. You came back.
Exactly.
There aren't many who possess that kind of strength, and even fewer that have the courage to face their demons again. Vale, Mountain Glen, Beacon. You confronted the White Fang time after time.
I didn't do it alone.
No, you didn't. Which is why I wanted to ask you. Why did you leave Vale? Why did you leave your friends behind?
Jesus Christ, son!
Kill him! Kill him! Someone get this medium turquoise guy away from me! I'm Aqua!
Whoa! This
Really?
isn't the bathroom. I'll just be going. Sorry to interrupt this tender
Yes,
family moment.
yes, please go.
I really don't like you.
But I really like Gira.
So let's say we believe all of this. There really is this crazy evil being behind these attacks, not just some thugs trying to become powerful. Why doesn't the world know? Why isn't Atlas going after them, or Mistral?
And why aren't we in more of a hurry to get to Haven? Shouldn't we be getting them a message? What's their next?
The headmaster over there saw what happened at Beacon. He's not dumb. He'll be on his guard. Besides, it takes time to mobilize forces like that.
I wonder what the
Do you
other
really think they
headmasters are
planned out
like.
that attack on Beacon overnight? And to answer your question, it's the same reason we keep quiet about the maidens. If the whole world knew about the relics, about Salem, it would be chaos. We
Yeah.
have another great war on our hands, and this time, you'd have to fight. Look, I had the same questions too. But old Ozpen always put his foot down. We can't cause a panic. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. Salem's smart. She works from the shadows, using others to get what she wants, so that when it comes time to place the blame, we can only point at each other. She's trying to divide us, humanity.
She's
So
doing a
far,
good
she's done a
job.
pretty damn good job.
All right. So what should we do?
I don't really know. Ozpen has put a lot of trust in the headmasters. Like I said, the schools are an important part of stopping Salem. Atlas is going to be on high alert after the last attack, and Vacuo is, well, Vacuo. It'll be hard to hire thieves and scoundrels to fight against other thieves and scoundrels. Take that. Add in the fact that Cinder and her crew claim to be from Haven, and I think it's likely the next target. So, we're on our way to the headmaster. Haven't heard from him in a while, even before the attack. I'm hoping he has the answers. All right, I think it's time you kids got some sleep.
Uncle Crow,
Yeah?
this is a lot to take in. And it all sounds crazy, but I'm willing to do whatever I can to help. Because I trust you. But why couldn't you trust me? Why couldn't you just travel with us instead of all of this secrecy and...
Look, this has nothing to do with trust. It's a long story, okay?
Seriously? Now you're tired of telling us stories?
But you know the crows are a sign of bad luck.
Oh, Crow.
Or superstition. But it's how I got my name. You see, some people can absorb electricity, and some people can burst into rose petals. And some people are just born unlucky. My semblance isn't like most. It's not exactly something I do. It's always there, whether I like it or not. I bring misfortune.
Oh.
I guess you could call me a bad luck charm. Comes in real handy when I'm fighting an enemy. But it makes it a little hard on friends and family.
Man, that
Well,
bites.
you are just a real bundle of help, aren't you?
Oh, come on, Sean.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Taking a walk.
There's nothing else you want to tell us?
Raven?
Not tonight.
Ugh! No concept of privacy, no respect for personal space.
I'm sorry, okay? Ow! I'm sorry!
Ugh!
Wow.
Look, I promise it was important. I needed to find you to talk to you.
What, son? What could be so important?
I was talking to your mom and she said something weird about the White Fang.
I'm stopping you right there.
But
I told you. I'm not here to fight the White Fang. I'm not here to fight anyone. I'm here to rest, to figure things out, and to see my family.
your mom said White Fang members don't wear masks in Menagerie, but I saw one at the market yesterday. I even got a picture.
Son,
Look, I'm trying to help.
I don't want your help.
Okay, Blake, he gets on my nerves too, but you might want to hear him out on this one. Ninja White
A
Fang?
freaking ninja?
A spy.
But why would... Hey, wait!
What's happened?
Oh, go back
The White Fang is
inside.
evil. I totally called it, and I'm bringing your daughter back.
That's the best line Son's had all volume. Please go back inside. I don't want anything to happen to you. I live in fear of something happening to that family.
We should probably get moving.
Yeah.
Crow? What is wrong? If you're dying, I'm gonna be pissed. Oh, it looks like that stuff that came out of Tyrion's tail.
Well, that's unfortunate.
And they're gonna end it right here. Yep, they're going to end it right here. That's just perfect. But I do have to say, before I start to gripe, that I am very grateful that we got an actual episode and not a World of Remnant. Which, don't get me wrong, as much as I love the World of Remnants, we waited for freaking ever, even as first members, to get another episode. What was it, like something like a week for us and 2 weeks for everyone else? I did not want another World of Remnant, so this makes me very happy. Yeah, I kind of want to punch Sun in the face myself, because one of the things I've been really going over with as someone who is very invested in Blake's character is why she did it, which I think the reason why she did it is kind of obvious. I don't think Blake ran just because she's a coward. I think she ran because she had good reason to keep whoever would be after her, like that White Fang ninja lady, which that is a really cool looking character design. I need to go back and look at that when I'm done with this review. But I think she figured that anyone who would be after her would be after her friends by association, so she did what she could to keep any more trouble that was following her from following them. I could be proven totally wrong on that, but that's my theory. And I felt like she was about to tell Gira this, and I'm like, did I call it? And then here comes Sun, and I'm like, oh, you gotta be freaking kidding, man! Come on! But I have to say, I'm glad to see that Blake's storyline is actually picking up. Some people have complained that that one's a little bit slow, but we probably really could have done without the whole boat. I mean, the Dragon Grim was really cool, and I'm really enjoying the new character designs on some of the newer Grim, but that whole episode with Sun in the boat, I almost feel like could have been cut or cut out, or we could have had him just catching up to her in Menagerie. But that's just me. And I also don't like how the opening of this season really seems to spoil a whole lot. Like, when we first saw the cloaked figure on the boat, we knew it was Sun. I mean, who else was it going to be? We saw him in the opening. Also, there's been saying that Yang's story is slow too, and on that one I kind of have to agree. I'm not feeling Yang's story too much this volume. Now, I say that in this video, and watch the next video, they're going to have something with Yang, and it's going to, like, totally blow me away. Which I'm hoping so. I wouldn't complain of that. There are some things that I don't want to be right about when I gripe. So, but I feel like Yang's story is dragging a bit. I don't know. I kind of want to see a little bit more of the PTSD. It's not so much that I want to see Yang suffer, as I think that just rolling over and shaking that off would be very unrealistic and very bad writing. But I guess right now there's not a whole lot to show with her if all she's doing is training with Tai. Blake, on the other hand, has a White Fang problem and a crazy yandere boyfriend problem that looks like it's slowly but surely gathering steam this season. I don't know if by the end of Volume 4 there's going to be an attack on Menagerie. I'd almost be disappointed if there wasn't. Of course, it took Adam 3 seasons to really make a move. Of course, part of that was because he was involved in Cinder's group and they had to wait for all of their plans to build up. But he really doesn't, unless there are some orders he's been given that we don't know about, have to really take that into consideration for this. It kind of freaks me out that he can send people after Blake at any time, or he himself show up. So the White Fang and Menagerie don't wear masks. That's really interesting. But then again, it's like the same time, there have to be some faunists that live out in different parts of Remnant. I mean, we see Suns from Vacuo, and we've seen faunists throughout the whole series. Maybe not as much as we've seen in Menagerie, but some faunists don't ever go home and talk about the shit that the White Fang is pulling. Come on. They can't be that in denial. Well, perhaps, considering some of the things I've seen on the news and with social justice, actually, I'm going to retract my statement. Yes, they probably can. But I'm happy with the way Blake's storyline is going. It's been a little bit slow, but it's building to something. Yang's, I'm really not sure what it's building to. I don't know. I hope she leaves home by the end of this volume, at least. I'm okay with the metal arm. I kind of don't mind Full Metal Yang there. I did see some really awesome fan art of her taking the empty space where her arm was and, like, just busting out this really awesome looking flaming arm that I thought was really cool, because then she could have incorporated her injury into her semblance and kind of turned the misfortune into a really powerful, really deadly looking thing. But I'm okay with the metal arm. Metal arm works too, as long as she's getting up and going to move forward with this. And I just made a Full Metal Alchemist quote without even meaning to. Yeah, getting up and moving forward, I think, would be a good way to move Yang's storyline. I just want it to move at a pace that's believable. Because, I mean, Yang's a very strong character. I don't think she's just going to curl in on herself and give up. At the same time, nobody walks away with what happened to her without a couple of scars. Ruby's storyline, it was kind of took a break from the action here, but we kind of needed this. We kind of needed Crow to stop and explain what was going on. And then we still really don't know everything that's going on. We know how the relics came to be. We know that Salem wants them. We just don't know exactly what her endgame is. Nothing good. I'll be very surprised if the reason that Salem wants them is for anything altruistic. Not when you attract henchmen like Cinder and Tyrion. Speaking of Tyrion, I was kind of almost disappointed we didn't see him this episode, though I kind of expected it too. We didn't really have time for that this episode. I don't know how they're going to have time for this whole volume, and that's what really worries me about Volume 4, and I'm not just griping about longer episodes to get longer episodes. It's just that you've got 4 different characters, 4 different settings, 4 different places, and then you're not accounting for what's going on with Raven. You're not accounting for what's going on with Ozpin. You're not accounting for what could be going on with Salem and her group. And, shit, did I leave anybody out? It's just how do you fit everything that's going on into these short episodes with how many episodes do we get per volume of RWBY? 12? How do you make it work? I mean, with the stories we had before, it was easier. They were all in one place. I don't know. I feel like it almost might have been better if they would have split it. Concentrated on Ruby and Weiss's stories for this volume, concentrated on Yang and Blake's stories for next volume. I mean, George R. Martin's had to do it that way. When he was writing A Dance with Dragons, it was actually a lot bigger, and he said, this is too big. This is a huge novel. He said, I can't put it out like this. So he ended up having A Feast for Crows and Dance with Dragons because he divided one book. And it just made sense because he also has a really huge, huge world in Game of Thrones, and there's just no way he would have fit everything into one place if he didn't divide it. I personally would have liked to have seen us not hear anything from Blake this season, even though it would have driven me crazy. But we'd have known, hey, she runs off, that's her thing. We don't know where Blake is. And then maybe by the end of Volume 4, Panta shot of Adam where he's just kind of grinning creepily to himself and saying something like, found her. Or, she's in Menagerie. And then just cut the feed for Volume 4 and leave it at that. People would have been pissed to hell, but it would have been awesome still. Because you would have been totally invested in the next season no matter what. And you would have had more time to focus individually on each character instead of trying to just mesh everything together and make it work. I mean, this is, don't get me wrong, this is a constructive criticism here. I'm not bashing on anybody, but I think that it's going to be very challenging to continue to write this way. Just my personal opinion. So, I do have to, unfortunately, get around to doing some other things today. It's New Year's Eve. I'd actually forgotten about that for a little while until I woke up and saw the day. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Y'all all have a happy New Year's and a great holiday.